hottest topics, the latest rumors, in-depth discussions, and the biggest headlines. Your weekly WWE fix all in one place. Find us on YouTube, iTunes, Automatic, and SoundCloud. This is the Main Event Podcast with your hosts, Imran, Arif, and Raza. It's time for the main event.
Survivor Series takes place this Sunday, where Alberto Del Rio, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens will be looking to capture the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and the Brothers of Destruction unite to take on the Wyatt family.
Don't you love a little 5-on-5 action?
If only.
Survivor Series traditional matches. Can't wait. I wonder who The Undertaker and Kane's partners are going to be. Woo!
We discussed that and much more in episode 51 of the Main Event Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Raza, and joining me this week is none other than Arif. As you already heard, how are you doing?
I'm very well. As always, I'm looking forward to the pay-per-view on the weekend. It's been a bit of a rainy day in Manchester, but the podcast studios have been kept quite clean, so well done to the cleaning staff.
Well done indeed. Remember, you can listen and download on a variety of platforms and outlets. It's completely up to you where you decide to listen: Podomatic, TuneIn, Radio, Player FM. If you don't use any of those outlets, check us out on Deezer, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Quite popular there, if I do say so myself. Search for the Main Event Podcast and you will find us.
On which one?
SoundCloud.
Why did you hesitate?
I just picked one at random.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or alternatively, click on any of the links in any of the description boxes. Or if you do prefer YouTube, search for the Main Event Podcast there as well. That's probably our most popular platform, and I forgot about that one. Finally, you can keep in touch with us here at the Main Event Podcast. Search for the Main Event Podcast WWE on Facebook, at TME Podcast on Twitter, or email us at tmepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Do we have a Google Plus page that we can promote?
We do have a Google Plus page.
Check us out on Google Plus, the Main Event Wrestling Podcast page. Which Raza is going to tell you now.
It's the Main Event Podcast.
There it is. That's the one.
It's like the name of every single account of ours.
Except for the Main Event Wrestling.
Oh, what can you do? Now then, let's get on with today's episode. I think we should start with this past week on Monday Night Raw, the final stop before Survivor Series, and closing out the show with the Divas. Well, champion Charlotte and the number one contender Paige in the contract signing segment. Before we get into the context of it all, what was said, and the fallout from it, what did you make of the decision to have the Divas close out the show, considering it's the final Raw before a historic pay-per-view in Survivor Series?
I thought it was brave. I thought it was very brave.
Very brave.
They could have easily had the Undertaker segment come out last. They could have easily had one of the finals or semi-final matches or the quarter-final matches of the WWE Championship tournament out last. But they went with the Divas, and I think I know why they went with the Divas, because of the context of the actual conversation. But I liked it. It was different. Charlotte is still very green, and she has to learn how to be a really good talker in front of thousands of people and millions at home every single week. So she's doing probably the best she can. Yeah. But yeah, good segment overall.
I think this is probably the most she's probably talked since moving up to the main roster.
And you can tell.
Yeah, so obviously it's going to take a while, but obviously well done to her.
If only there was a part of the WWE where they could just learn all this stuff and really hone their skills.
If only. If only.
If only you could just spend time, I don't know, like a developmental area and just learn.
I think you could call it a performance center because you're performing overall.
Yeah, you know what? Do you know what I would call it? I would call the show, because you'd have to have a show there as well.
Yeah.
I'd call the show maybe like something like Next, like the next batch of superstars.
Yeah.
But we need to make it a bit more hip. What would you recommend?
I don't know. I think if you take the E out, then...
Rizzo, that's a terrible idea.
Oh, okay, sorry. Back to the conversation there. It was certainly interesting to say the least. A lot was said, but in particular, a lot of focus has been on Paige. Her comment on Charlotte's brother, who passed away around 2 years ago, I think, stating he didn't have enough fight in him. Something along those lines anyway. Do you think those comments were appropriate? I mean, we've had Charlotte's mum say how angry she was at it. Even Ric Flair on his podcast saying the WWE didn't contact him, he was crying, he was upset. And he even says Charlotte can't exactly tell them no because she's quite new to the main roster.
Yeah, it's a fair point as well. On Charlotte's mum not knowing, I don't think she's with Rick anymore. I don't think anyone's with Rick anymore, let's be honest.
I mean, end of the day, it's a son. They are...
Of course. But they weren't going to contact her. I'm surprised that they didn't speak to Rick first. But with Raw being written hours in advance, if that's what you want to believe as well, it's probably unlikely that Charlotte would have known until maybe an hour or two beforehand. She probably received the script, read it and okayed it. But yeah, like you said, she probably wouldn't be able to say no. It's maybe not the right way to go about it. It opens up this idea that things like that are okay, and I think there should be a line that can't be crossed.
Yeah.
If this was real life, and if someone had said that on an MMA show, there would be an outroar. There would be, and in this sort of situation, it shouldn't be any different just because a writer's come up with it instead of it's in bad taste. It's
really bad taste. I was going to say, for me, it was in poor taste as well. But should Charlotte have spoken up then? I mean, on one side, she doesn't have to, or she doesn't want to because she's still new. They've got a lot of trust in her. On the other side, she can show a lot of bravery by speaking up when she's new, saying, look, I don't like this, we shouldn't do this.
Look, and we don't know. Maybe she did, and maybe it got shut down. We don't know what happens backstage. The only two people that probably know are Triple H and Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because if she did speak up, it still went ahead. And if she didn't, then maybe she should have.
But is the comment that obviously Paige made, which has got everyone in uproar about it, do you think that comment is what made the segment good?
It was what made the segment. It took it to another level.
Yeah,
and then there seems to be this more realistic edge on it. Going away from Paige really quickly though, Charlotte couldn't cry on command. What was?
I don't know.
She's a Flair. I don't know if she could. I don't know if she was holding back tears and she was holding them back really well, or if she just couldn't cry and she was trying to make herself cry. But Flairs cry all the time.
Maybe Rick took all of that talent of crying. Charlotte's not been left with.
I'm so proud of you, baby girl.
But was it a good way to build up Paige as the heel? Help Charlotte go over as a face with Paige?
It's a bit of a cheap way, though, isn't it? So I draw parallels to the CM Punk Undertaker feud, where CM Punk,
Paul Bearer,
I guess pimped out the death of Paul Bearer in bad taste. But it's different when we know a superstar can do more than just that.
Yeah.
So Punk's promos going up to that, your arms are too short to box with God and things like that. Right now, it just seems like the only memorable thing, the only thing of note from that entire promo was Paige's pipe bomb, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing. So maybe it was the only thing that she could have done.
Did he get the job done?
Yeah, but in the wrong way.
I agree with that.
Wrong way. You don't want that to be the ending of your flagship show going into one of your 4 biggest pay-per-views of the year.
I wonder what creative were thinking. Like, is this going to sit well with everyone, especially the Flair family? Really, you're talking about a dead person or this woman's dead younger brother?
When have WWE ever really shown that compassion, though?
Yeah, I guess.
And let's be honest, it will all be forgotten in the next couple of weeks, and Charlotte will still be your champion unless she loses on the pay-per-view. We'll
get to that, though. What did you make of the brawl as soon as that comment was made? Oh, the segment as a whole, was it a solid segment to close out the show? Or is it something that didn't really get your interest? And it's not going to pique your interest for Survivor Series?
Putting it last on the show definitely puts more pressure on it, but also makes it look better as well. So if you see something in the main event, you know it's going to be a little bit more explosive. The brawl itself was good. It looked real, which is what you want from a wrestling show, especially with Divas, where we haven't seen that a lot. It's so difficult to really put it on that level because it's got that scar, in a sense. It's got that caveat to it that makes you think, well, they're there, yes, but NXT, remember the Bayley, Sasha Banks contract signing?
Yes.
How good was that?
That was good.
It was one of the best contract signings I've ever seen. And it was that way because of the two people in it and not because of what they said. With this, it was good because of what Paige said, essentially. And that's the only reason it was good. It wasn't good because either Paige nor Charlotte showed any talent, unfortunately. Any real talent at that level to be in a main event of Raw.
Yeah. I enjoyed the brawl, especially the barricade spot that looked quite real. Most of her, as you said, looked real with the clothes and everything ripping. It wasn't a lot. But yeah, I agree with most of what you said. For me,
Paige is really looking very perky these days.
We won't get into that.
That new heel persona. Staying school kids.
How important has this segment made their Survivor Series match? Then do you think it's helped get fans interested in it? Me personally, I think it has a bit, because if this segment had taken place mid-show or not at all, I probably wouldn't have watched it anyway. But the fact that I closed out the show, showing a bit of importance for me, I think, well, me personally, it's got me interested a little bit more, even though we know the result, most likely. Yeah.
Would they have been the main event if the WWE champion was still around? Or would it have been Roman and Seth?
Most likely. It's just Seth that just ruined everything.
Damn it, Seth.
But yeah, I agree.
First you date a Nazi and now this.
Right. If he was still here, then yeah, I don't think this would have been the main event segment. But credit to them again. It was a solid segment in my eyes.
Yeah, it was. It's really difficult to look past the comment.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the problem, isn't it? Because if you can get past that, then generally it wasn't a great segment. Obviously, the brawl at the end probably wouldn't have felt as real as it did if it wasn't for the comment. So you have to add that factor in as well. And just generally, it just didn't seem like it was going anywhere great. Charlotte wasn't fantastic on the mic. She still needs to learn. Paige is I mean, like, my opinions on Paige on the mic.
For me, Paige...
This is my house!
For me, Paige hasn't really...
excelled.
Yeah, since her first night on the main roster. There's nothing that screams improvement to me.
She's no AJ Lee.
Yeah, exactly. Even though the WWE might try to force that down our throats, I don't think she's going to live up to those heights. I don't think she's the top diva on the roster either.
I think that opens up a bigger kind of worms in a sense, though, because who have they really got that can fill that spot, who has the charisma, who has the personality, who has the talent? Because Paige definitely has the talent, so does Charlotte. And so does Becky, but Becky would probably but then Sasha Banks and Bayley are the only two. But then we were saying the same things about Charlotte and Becky when they were in NXT.
But I think Bayley and Sasha are definitely better talkers than Charlotte. That's a key thing. Whether we believe it or not, that is a key thing. It's
what about that Kana?
Asuka, who they're going by now, yes.
No, Kana.
Kana.
I talk about someone different.
Okay.
She's really good.
Really good, but language barrier.
Like everyone just needs to learn Japanese.
That's probably the easier way to do it as well.
Exactly.
Everyone just learn Japanese.
Everyone just learn Japanese. Japanese lessons. A-Train can do it. He was Japanese for a while.
Yeah. But I think Sasha Banks is probably the one they should go with, but I don't want them.
But then why are they not pushing her?
I don't know. At the same time, they might ruin it, and then we'll lose interest. But I think we were discussing this a few weeks ago. I think that Bayley is like they're believing her. She's the next John Cena. They're doing it because she's so popular.
Do they know she's female?
Yeah.
How does that even work?
As in a popular figure, basically. Not not literally the next John Cena.
Okay.
But yeah, because top merchandise seller. Obviously, one of the kids absolutely love her. So yeah, I think. Yeah, I think she probably will be the one when they move her up. But again, we said that, as you said, for a few, and nothing's been made of it.
And the problem was they brought them all up together, didn't they? And so they all merged into one, and now you have this feud between two people that has to have these cheap pops in it.
Yeah,
to get over.
And the teams that they formed as well weren't exactly.
They did, but they had some good promos leading up to it, though. This Raw was good for promos.
Oh yeah, of course.
Backstage segments.
Yeah. But a lot of talk on social media as well. Fans reacting negatively to Paige, understandable. Even Lana,
It's not Paige's fault, though, surely.
I don't know.
Surely Paige didn't come up with this herself. Because that's really bad if she did.
I don't know. We've had conversations about her attitude, whether it's real, whether it's fake.
So I think there's a fine line between Paige that we see on Tough Enough. We're talking about Tough Enough again, and the Paige that we see on WWE TV, and I think there is a big difference, and I don't think that was her. It can't have been, because that's really poor taste. Even if she got Flair to be fine with it, if she got Charlotte to be fine with it, it's still, that's wrong, man.
I think you were saying there are better ways to go over as a heel. That probably wasn't the best way to do it against someone who's so new on the main roster, probably won't know how to react in front of thousands of people when you're mentioning her brother has passed away. But Paige, back to attitude, I mean, she and Lana have had an exchange on their Twitter, I believe. Paige accused her of getting a storyline, things like that. Do you think this is Paige just being herself as a person? Because people might believe that. Or is she really embracing this heel persona really well to get negative reaction.
So we have to take everything that's done on social media with a pinch of salt as well, because we don't know if that's obviously them or if they're being told what to say. Start a feud and just go with it, etc., etc.
I think the majority of them live their gimmick on social media.
Oh yeah, of course they do. I mean, look at Zack Ryder. It's not even a gimmick anymore. That's just him.
Fair point.
Yeah. I don't know. I am a little bit disappointed in the segment, but they built it up well.
Well, the comment anyway. The comment.
Yeah. Well, sorry. Yeah, the comment. The segment itself wasn't great though. I guess we'll see where it goes on Sunday.
A lot of pressure though on both of them now, heading into Sunday main event slot on Raw. We'll see how they do it. Now I know we always say this every single time something half decent occurs in the Divas division, but could this have been a turning point for them?
I mean, like, the only way to go when you're going backwards is to turn. Yeah. So you either keep going backwards or you make a slight detour so you start going the other way. I don't.
That's beautifully put. That's beautifully put.
Thanks. You know what? I planned that.
Yeah.
So well, you either go backwards or you don't.
I don't know. We always said
hashtag backwards or don't.
What? That's not going to trend.
Hashtag trending live on Twitter. It's live right now, which is weird because we're recording this.
Yeah. I've no idea how that works. But guys, let us know what you made of that contract signing segment. Was it good, or did Paige go a little too far? Please let us know. Moving on, we can turn our attention to the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. Now, we know Cesaro, big fan favourite, many eyes.
Is he really?
Well, let's not discuss this right now. We'll get into it.
Reza, but really quickly, he's not a big fan. The crowd don't even cheer for him.
Well, I think over the last few weeks, he certainly died down.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe the fans
like 10 people in that Cesaro section.
Maybe fans are finally giving up that nothing's going to happen.
But he's awesome.
Again, okay, we'll say when he was getting ridiculous reactions on a weekly basis, fans did believe he is someone who is capable of being a world champion by now anyway. But obviously that isn't the case. He got eliminated in the tournament. For me personally, there was something in the back of my mind before Raw that there's a small chance Cesaro might actually go all the way and win the title. Oh, yeah. Obviously that did happen.
Yeah.
But
it was the conversation with Triple H.
Yeah, but pretty much that's the story of Cesaro's career, isn't it? In the WWE.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
So it wasn't really a surprise to see Roman Reigns advance in the tournament then, was it?
It's a shame, though.
Okay, let's say Cesaro's on the other side of the bracket. Met Reigns at Survivor Series in the final. Do you think fans would have been more upset if Cesaro lost in the final?
Yeah, Reigns would have been booed out of the building, I think.
Yeah, or upset they lost Reigns on Raw. I mean, being in a championship match itself is huge. That would show signs of improvement. Well, not even improvement. That they're showing a bit more faith in him that he can be in a championship match.
I think now it's got to the point, though, where Cesaro doesn't even care. Did you see some of the stuff he came out with on Raw?
Yeah, I guess.
He just wants to make everyone else look bad by looking good himself. He out-wrestled Roman Reigns, and that's not hard to do. Let's be honest. Roman Reigns isn't one of the best wrestlers in the world, but he completely made him look like an amateur. That's just how good Cesaro is. I guess the problem with him is still that personality. He's just not connecting. How bad? Well, I sound like Vince. He's not connecting, damn it. This is the problem, though, because Vince thinks that he's not connecting, and because of that, he's not putting him in these main event spots. I guarantee if you put him in the main event, people would cheer him. It wouldn't be the first week, but it would be after a couple of weeks. I
agree. Obviously, it's frustrating as Cesaro fans to... on a weekly basis, think, okay, maybe this week something will change, maybe this week something will change, and our hopes slowly dying out.
Yeah, but Rosa, maybe this week something will change.
Maybe. Is he even going to be on Survivor Series? Maybe he's going to be in the final five match.
Maybe that'll come into the the traditional match.
When will the higher-ups make a decision then? I think it's clear he's done his best to grab the brass ring. He's rolling with what he's been given. The Cesaro section, most of the time, I'd say now, is always out in full force. He's probably the best in the ring right now, obviously with Rollins out injured. When will they... Pardon?
Daniel Bryan out injured as well.
Yeah, exactly. When will they finally think, okay, we can go with this and make Cesaro a top star?
Will they ever?
I personally don't think so.
So...
It comes back to this, though. Sorry. It comes back to this. if the big gold belt was still here, Cesaro would be the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, he would. And that would have elevated him to WWE World Heavyweight, WWE Champion status,
Exactly.
And I think it is a big minus for a lot of superstars at the World Champion. I mean, Jack Swagger was your World Champion.
Exactly.
Greg Harley was your World Champion. If Cesaro couldn't do it...
I understand why they're trying to do it, make the face of the company the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, but it's a good... I know the prestige loses because it was a massive WCW belt and everything, but it's a good platform for these stars to have. People like Sandow, who lost, people like Cesaro, as we're mentioning, Cody Rhodes. These people can hold the World Heavyweight Championship, and it's a good platform for them. But obviously, now they've taken that out of the picture, they have to suffer for it, which is a shame.
They don't, because they never promoted the World Heavyweight Championship as a secondary belt. It was always promoted. Obviously, we saw it as fans as the secondary belt, and it would be the perfect belt for someone like Cesaro. As a WWE champion, I'm struggling because as much as I know he's talented enough, he's not WWE championship material. Does that sound...
It's
wrong?
not harsh, but I agree where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's because being a WWE champion, you have to be someone like a Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You have to be a strong character. Cesaro is strong in the ring, but he's a weak character.
He has flaws. Definitely has flaws.
I mean, and they're not apparent in these 4 ropes.
Every time we mention Cesaro, you come up with that comment.
4 sides.
Oh, man.
That was the promo that killed him.
Yeah. So why Roman Reigns? I mean, it's clear he's not the perfect star, but he's the favourite to win the championship belt. People will say Cesaro is a better all-round superstar than Reigns, so why Reigns? You can't just base it off a look, surely. Reigns is a worse talker, if anything.
Well, there you go. you base it off. You just hit it in one. They based it off a look,
which is a shame because a lot of talented guys aren't gonna reach that level. Then
it really is a shame because Roman Reigns does look like the face of a company. Cesaro doesn't. Cesaro looks very vanilla. Roman Reigns looks like this magical 7 flavors in one. Oh, I can't wait to see what it's like. Oh my god, it's actually terrible, but I keep getting it shoved down my throat. One day I might like it. That's what Roman Reigns is. Cesaro is vanilla. Vanilla's good. Don't get me wrong, vanilla's great, but vanilla isn't the best thing in the world.
Fair
Ice
point.
cream. Ice cream on the Main Event podcast.
Do you think this would have been the right time to pull the trigger, though? Take a risk. Ratings aren't exactly high. Maybe a Cesaro surprise win would have been the shock factor that it adds. Plus, with so many injuries, opportunities were there.
This would have been the right time. But you can also see why they don't want to divert from the original plan, which is for Roman Reigns to win the championship.
Yeah. I think that, again, as you said, too much Roman Reigns is going to backfire a lot. Until he's a heel, then it's fine. But, yeah.
Then he can fire up that Superman punch.
Yeah. And for that reason, people like Cesaro are going to suffer. For me...
Roman Reigns is being pushed to the moon like a Superman, though, because he nearly beat Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
I don't think he's ever lost in a one-on-one match without shenanigans.
I can't remember.
Without interference or anything, especially since he's been face. And he defeated Cesaro after a match where Cesaro was on top the entire feud, the entire match. Oh, Roman.
Oh, well.
Roman Empire!
For me, it's a case of now or never. I mean, we saw something similar with Barrett. Firstly, it's part of Nexus. When people say he should have been champion, which is right, he should have because he was so hot at the time. And then when bad news was really taken up, people were calling for a Money in the Bank win. Do you think Cesaro's time has passed him by? Or can he be a world champion?
And it all comes down to how they use him. And obviously, if they use him in the way that they did on Raw, then we're going to keep wanting him to be at that next level.
Yeah.
As soon as they drop him down to the first match on Raw against someone that doesn't really matter and he keeps losing. For example, if he had lost against Tyler Breeze in the first match on Raw, no one would care. Everyone would think, oh, it's a shame Cesaro's not getting pushed, but let's be honest, we don't really mind.
Yeah, they're just giving us a little glimmer of hope.
It's just, it's a really difficult one. You're coming up with the difficult questions today, Reza.
I'm sorry. Well, how do we fix Cesaro? What is it the WWE need to do to create this perfect machine that fans love, who can win the championship? Do you change his music? Do you have him turn heel and join the Authority? What do you do? Give him another mouthpiece?
If you'd listened to episode 50 of our podcast last week, the week before, whenever it was.
I don't think I was here.
What? Well, if you'd listened to it, you would have heard that I would like Tyson Kidd to be Cesaro's mouthpiece.
Oh, you did say that. I do remember that.
He's a talker.
He
He can come out in a suit, look good.
The fact dropper, as we call him.
Exactly. Fact. And then you've got fact.
I think that'll depend on when Kidd's ready to be on screen again.
You can put a suit on.
I like Tyson Kidd. Very upset.
I like Tyson. Sorry.
Is that the automatic fix then?
That's the way that you could fix him like that.
And you think that's when he's ready to be world champion?
I think as soon as you give him a real mouthpiece, not Paul Heyman, because he's not at Paul Heyman's level, especially while Paul Heyman's with Brock Lesnar.
We've tried that as well.
It was because he was with Brock Lesnar, though. Yeah. So every time Paul Heyman came out, you were waiting to see the Beast, and in reality, it was Cesaro. So by comparison, you get disappointed.
That's the same thing happened with Ryback as well. Then again, they weren't on that level, but
yeah, exactly. Well, look, give him Tyson Kidd as a mouthpiece or someone else as a mouthpiece. Give him a manager who can talk for him and you can push him to the moon and he will never come down. But until then, right now, he's in this spot where the fans love him, but there's just this unattainable reach that... we don't know, though. The crowd might do exactly the same thing they did for Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble and boo... whoever wins, it'll probably be Cena. They'll boo Cena anyway, but they might boo just because it's Cesaro, and then we may end up getting Cesaro in the main event of WrestleMania. Oh my god, wishful thinking.
Do we have that power, or is it just wishful thinking?
Yeah, we don't. After last year, we definitely don't have that power.
Would we be having this conversation if Tyson Kidd was still around as a performer? In-ring performer?
Would we still? Well, I guess the better question is, would we have the tag team still? Would they still be in a team? That
was my point, because obviously Tyson Kidd, as much as one of my favourite wrestlers, but obviously there's no chance he would have got the World Championship. Whether they would have broken him up or not, I don't know. But right now, there are two people who aren't getting what people think they deserve, and that's Cesaro and Ziggler. Do you think them two coming together could benefit them in any way?
So Cesaro is quite high up on the card right now. Ziggler is relatively high up in the card right now. You put them in a tag team, you kind of dilute that.
Okay.
For me, they need to be single stars, but they need to be especially in this moment of uncertainty where we have maybe 4 main eventers and they're all in this main event spot at the pay-per-view. Kevin Owens, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
You could easily switch in Cesaro or Ziggler into any of those spots, and it would look normal. And that's where they deserve to be.
Okay.
I don't think they'd be a good tag team right now.
That's fine.
The tag team, we've got enough tag teams, and they're not being used right. So why would we ruin it?
Yeah, I know we've got some time left yet, but obviously it doesn't hurt to speculate. If Cesaro is still getting a similar reaction, if he's still relevant, can Cesaro be the 2016 Money in the Bank winner?
Why? You can't ask me that question.
I've asked you. I'm sorry.
You can't ask me. He can be. Will he be? That's my question.
Who are the realistic?
No, I asked you a question.
Sorry, what was your question?
Will he be the?
Will he be? No. Can he be? Yes. Should he be? Yes.
So go on. So who are the? So Dolph Ziggler obviously is always going to be up there. Roman Reigns, if he's not the champion. Kevin Owens. I would probably put it on Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Kevin Owens.
I think Kevin Owens is probably the best bet. But yeah, I could see Cesaro being there.
Okay,
but yeah, will he be?
Which is a shame. Oh well, we always have one really.
That's a shame. I don't know who that is anymore.
Neither do I. Let us know what you think about Cesaro, whether he can be champion or not. We'd love to hear from you. Right before
that weird grin as well.
Sorry.
He had that weird grin when Triple H was telling him to think about it. Cesaro was like, "Okay."
That was quite accurate laugh as well.
I believe it's Triple H said in front of me, yeah. It's Triple H.
Pretty spot on. Well, actually, before we move on, is that...
Rosa, you know I'm from Lucerne, Switzerland, yeah? In Lucerne we have a ring with 4 ropes. That's why I got confused.
Do you think Cesaro could join the Authority? If he does, would it be a good thing?
So this is the way I would have booked this. Let's go into Fantasyland again. I would have had Cesaro win. I would have had Cesaro versus... Kevin Owens at the pay-per-view for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Which is like an indie fan's dream.
Exactly. And or even Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro and have Cesaro win. and then have Roman Reigns come out with Triple H, and then Reigns versus Cesaro, and then Reigns wins, and then we have Reigns as your new champion. And that's how I would have booked it. Because I think that then gives Cesaro credibility for wrestling 3 times in one night. It gives Reigns that heel switch that we know he needs right now.
Yeah.
Because if he turns heel on the pay-per-view, then this was such a wasted opportunity. Just mark my words with that, please. Remember that. If he turns heel on the pay-per-view, the fact that he didn't lose to Cesaro and then beat him on the pay-per-view itself is just a wasted opportunity. But then also it leaves Dean Ambrose in that feud still, because then we can have the triple threat.
Which is what obviously we want.
Yeah, which is putting Dean in the main event, Roman in the main event, and Cesaro in the main event.
I can go with that match. The 2 talented guys who can carry Reigns.
Or then you could even move Dean Ambrose back into the Intercontinental title picture and have him wrestle Kevin Owens and bring that championship up. It brings a lot out of people if you go down that route.
Again, Fantasyland. It's a wonderful place, isn't it?
It's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful life.
Yeah. We're here every week. But yeah, let us know what you think about Cesaro and his current situation. Now, before we move on to Survivor Series, which is obviously on Sunday, I just want to talk about Tyler Breeze, Prince Pretty himself.
Who?
Tyler Breeze.
Sorry, I don't know who you're talking about.
Really?
You mean the blonde guy who gets no reaction on Raw?
Yes, that's exactly the angle we're going down as well. Obviously, a lot of hype surrounding his arrival on the main roster, which is probably long overdue.
Do you know what I think it is?
I know where this is going. That's the thing. I know where it's going, and you're still going to say it.
I just think it's the fact that he's not that charismatic.
All right, okay.
Or maybe it's his eyes when you look at me.
Oh, man.
They are so gorgeous. Why can't you see?
Is this where it stops?
Oh my god, it's Tyler!
And did no one react? What have you made of his first few weeks on the main roster then?
So he debuted, sat at ringside, lost to Dean Ambrose, and then beat R-Truth.
That's pretty much exactly what happened in a nutshell.
And he's not being cheered. I think it's because his finisher isn't very good as well.
Could be. He's got a signature, which is a super kick, and the beauty shot, which is just another kick. So
well, he's using the Unprettier now.
Is that what he's using?
He used it on SmackDown. Spoilers to SmackDown.
I don't know. It's not exactly the right way to go when people consider Christian as one of the most boring superstars with that finisher.
At last, you're on your own.
So why do you think reactions haven't been that great?
I think the Unprettier is a good move for him though, because he's the.
Of course, yeah, it makes sense. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He deserves a lot more than what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess get this feud out of the way with Dolph Ziggler. It's probably not gone the way that they should have gone with it because they've not had interruptions in each other's matches. I mean, that would have been the perfect way for him to lose to Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. Have
Dolph Ziggler come out and make him lose.
And Tyler Breeze plays a big part in the outcome of the tournament as well.
Exactly. But now Tyler Breeze, I think that's what lost momentum. Everyone just thought, okay. I don't know when the last time Tyler Breeze won a match was, apart from this week on Raw.
NXT one time,
yeah, but
maybe?
you can't just say NXT.
That one time on NXT.
You know that time that The Rock turned up?
Yeah.
Once.
So what does it do? What does it need to do with him in terms of a feud? What would be a good feud for him after Ziggler? For him to really grow in confidence, make a statement on the main roster.
That's exactly what it is because they've got everything else correct at the moment. He's with Summer Rae. They've got a really good what's the word I'm looking for? Not promo. You know what I'm looking for. Promo.
Presence.
No, not presents. That's what you get at Christmas. Presents. There we go. He's got a really good presence with Summer Rae next to him. They've got a good gimmick. That's the word I was actually looking for. Summer Rae puts lip gloss on him halfway through matches. He always takes selfies. He's humorous, but the WWE crowd just don't seem to get him the way that a smaller NXT crowd really understood him.
Yeah.
Where do we go? Where do we go with him? You like Tyler Breeze. Why don't you?
That's the first I'm hearing of it.
You love Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze, interesting character.
Tyler Breeze is you told me if you could be any superstar on the main roster, you'd be Tyler Breeze.
That's like the biggest lie you've ever told, and you told a lot on the podcast.
So have I ever lied? That was a lie in itself.
Do you want me to answer that?
And it was a question. How can a question be a lie?
I don't know. Tyler Breeze, interesting superstar to have. The gimmick's not the easiest to pull off, as you said, in front of a bigger crowd. I think it's just people don't take him seriously. He's
getting the Adam Rose treatment.
Yeah, with this gimmick, and I certainly hope it doesn't go down like Adam Rose did, because he's had quite a few chances in FCW when he was Mike Dalton, then finally broke out with Tyler Breeze.
But Tyler Breeze can wrestle, and I think that's the difference, because Dolph Ziggler didn't get over with his gimmick, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He got over because he can wrestle, and he gives his all in all his matches. Tyler Breeze is at that level, I think. I think their match on Sunday will be good.
Yeah, it will, of course.
But it will be very much make or break. And that is dependent on the Atlanta crowd as well. Because if they don't cheer him, then people at home aren't going to get excited for him.
I'm not too sure what the Atlanta crowd is like either, so it'll be...
Atlanta. Nope.
No, you just don't know. I don't know. It's difficult. We just have to see what happens with him. Hopefully, he's a success. He deserves it.
He does deserve it, doesn't he?
He's been down in developmental for quite some time.
I mean, Mike Dalton, everyone remembers him, right?
Maybe not. Maybe they do. I don't think they do. As in, one point, he was tag team champion with Roman Reigns in FCW.
What?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Mike Dalton and Leaky.
Leaky.
Leaky. That's what he was called. That's his actual name.
Wasn't it Leaky?
Leaky.
We'll call him Leaky.
Is it not Leaky?
We can call him Leaky if you like, Arif.
Oh, Leaky. Sorry, Leaky. Yeah, Leaky. Yeah, we'll call him Leaky now.
Yeah.
Leaky Reigns. Leaky.
And I'm sure he was world champion on FCW
We should
as well.
break kayfabe and call all the wrestlers by their real names.
It just feels wrong. I don't know why.
What do you think of Jonathan Ambrose?
It's not even his name.
What we'll do is we'll just replace their first names with their actual first names. Jonathan Good is his real name. What about that?
That's such a boring real name.
Kevin Owens. Damn it.
But yeah, Tyler Breeze. We'll have to see what happens with him. Sunday, as you said, make or break. I think we'll have a clearer indication of where he's going on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Right, then let's get back on track. Survivor Series. One of the interesting matches we have, or not so interesting, depends which way you're going to look at it. We have taking place as a tag team match. The Brothers of Destruction taking on the Wyatt family, but it's two members of the
No,
Wyatt
it's
family.
5-on-5. It's definitely 5-on-5.
Oh, it's two.
Rizza, it's Survivor Series.
Oh, but WWE don't really
Rizza, why would... No. You can't trick the fans.
I'm not tricking anyone.
These are my people. Well, they're actually your people.
Unfortunately, it is a tag team match.
Yeah, 5-on-5 tag team, yes.
No,
so are we going through the predictions of the partners? Because we haven't heard anything yet. I'm going to go with Finn Balor, Adrian Neville, and Luke Harper for the Brothers.
We left Fantasyland a little while ago. Let's get back to reality. The fact is, it's Kane and The Undertaker versus Wyatt and Strowman, I believe.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that your reaction just says it all. Maybe we should move on.
No, let's talk about it. We need to talk about why this is a good idea, I guess.
Is it a good idea?
I guess if they're trying to put over The Undertaker and Kane,
which they've done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you see Strowman getting the win here?
I can see it, because if the plan is still Strowman having a big WrestleMania, then it would make sense.
Cena Taker makes the most sense for this WrestleMania.
Oh, of course.
Not Cena Taker, then Taker versus Kane even I would prefer.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the fact that it's WrestleMania 32, amazing stadium, biggest crowd ever. You want that to go down as something like Cena Taker, not when you look down the record books. Undertaker versus Braun.
Brian Strowman. Who's this?
Exactly, and it's too big of a risk in my opinion.
Who's Braun? Is he a razor blade?
Too big of a risk in my opinion.
Braun.
But again, I wouldn't be surprised if he does have a big Survivor Series, and probably even clears house, maybe.
On The Undertaker and Kane?
Maybe. I mean, I remember reading something, Jim Ross, he wrote something online, how a young up-and-coming star should have saved The Undertaker to make a name for himself. Do you think that's what should have happened?
But it shouldn't be Braun Strowman, yes. Yeah. I agree that it should have been an up-and-coming superstar. Brock Lesnar probably, now in hindsight, was maybe the right person.
Yeah.
Because of the push that they've given Brock Lesnar and how dominant he looks. But ultimately, yes. They could have given it to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns would have been would have been at that level. They could have given it to Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins, and they would have been at that level as well. Obviously, they got there, but I guess the risk of that with what Jim Ross is saying is if you give it to someone and then they drop the ball after they've just beaten The Undertaker, where does that leave them?
Exactly. Massive pressure on someone who's so new.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I know it's good for Wyatt. He's got both legends in a feud, which he's done quite well for himself, to be fair. And it's really helped build up the dominance of Kane and Undertaker. But do you think it would have been more entertaining to have more members help out the Brothers of Destruction?
Oh, definitely. Everyone wants to see a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Even if that means that their three partners get taken out very early on in the match, at least they're there. At least we get the 5-on-5 Survivor Series Elimination Tag Team match that we want on the main show as a main event match. Now it's going to be a terrible, terrible 5-on-5 match, let's be honest, to make up for it. And it just doesn't make sense that it's a 2-on-2.
Yeah. I think the event is being built up as, Undertaker's 25th anniversary of debuting in the WWE. Do you think this is the right match to go? Because
not when it's supposed to be one of the biggest matches that he's ever competed in.
Yeah.
He's facing Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Not exactly household names.
Exactly. It's not something that's memorable enough.
Where's Sting?
That's the thing. Everyone wants Sting in this feud, and any addition would be a good addition. Because Sting being involved in Undertaker's anniversary, that's something special right there.
Especially a year on from when he debuted.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly. Gone really quick. It would have been a massive occasion. 3 absolute legends taking on a group who are going to practically take over when they're gone.
Do you think they changed their plans because Seth Rollins got injured? Do you think that affects it? Because that would have meant that Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens, Alberto Del Rio would all be free right now. And I'm not saying that they would have tagged up with The Undertaker and Kane, but maybe Dean Ambrose would have, maybe Sting would have, and maybe Finn Balor would have.
I think Seth Rollins has ruined everything.
Damn it, Seth!
No, seriously. I can see where you're going with this, as in Ambrose in any match is good, especially with The Undertaker. You can imagine the reaction they'd have. Sting, absolute legend again, even bigger reaction. Introduction for Demon Balor, or even regular, it doesn't really matter, but that would be perfect as well. And the Wyatt family would really meet their match. Right now, it doesn't look like they're going to lose, especially with Luke Harper rolling at ringside. To me, it looks like it's only going to go one way, even though it's the 25th anniversary.
Yeah. I can't see... I can see Kane eating the pin. I think that's what he's there for.
Yeah.
He's gonna pass out to Braun Strowman's hug attack.
I don't think they'll have Undertaker take the pin. But then again, he's that kind of person who wouldn't mind. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's Undertaker.
True.
But yeah, I don't think on his anniversary they'll have him lose to, especially Strowman. Wyatt, maybe, yeah. But I don't think they'll have him lose to Strowman at Survivor Series.
If they do lose, if the Wyatt family do lose,
of course.
Then putting both Bray and Braun in there is probably the wrong idea, because who's going to actually eat the pin there? Exactly. Eat the pin like it's food.
I remember
eat all the pins.
Reading online, a lot of people saying there's only one thing that's missing from this. I know it would have been quite good if Paul Bearer was still around.
Yeah, okay.
That would have been acceptable then. A 2-on-2, a standard tag team match.
Mm-hmm. Or it could have been Paul Bearer at ringside, and then a 3-on-2 with Bray Wyatt at ringside.
Yeah, exactly. That makes
sense. I don't understand why it's not 4-on-2. We saw on Raw last week that The Undertaker and Kane have no problem destroying the entire Wyatt family.
Exactly.
And now, how does having 2 of them work?
Oh, well, that's just WWE booking for you. I think the build-up's been really good for this. I've enjoyed it. Wyatt's looked really strong. Obviously, the rest of them have done their part. And it's basically been Wyatt and Taker, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it's working out well, and Survivor Series should be interesting to see which way it goes. Now, obviously, this probably isn't the end of it, is it? Surely.
I mean, it's got to go to WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's got to go to WrestleMania, and I think it will be Braun Strowman versus The Undertaker, depending on what happens at the weekend. But, yeah, I don't think it's the end of it. Yeah, wrestling. I came into this podcast with so much energy and so much excitement, and now I'm just down.
Just negative topics after negative topics.
Can we talk about something fun? Let's talk about all of wrestling is terrible.
Let's just move on to our main event this week. We're focusing on Survivor Series. Not the smoothest of build-ups because of Rollins. But nevertheless, we have some good matches landing for the event. And for me personally, another special occasion. I think this is now my second or third defense of the main event podcast championship. And I'm feeling...
Imran needs to work this stuff out, man.
I know. I'm feeling pretty confident again about this one as well.
He told me he was faxing in his predictions, but I don't have a fax machine, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Does that mean I win by default?
No, sorry. I just received a message. I have just received an email from the anonymous Raw General Manager, and I quote, Arif, I give you full creative control today to predict my matches.
Oh, no.
Signed Imran. Raw Anonymous General Manager. Do you like my American accent?
It was okay. Could do a little bit of improvement.
Should we head on to the Prediction City?
Let's do it.
Prediction train, choo choo! And we go to Survivor Series live on Sunday from Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to start off with the hotly contested match between two twins, Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. Reza, would you like to go first or second as reigning champion?
I'll go second.
You'll go as you always do. So, for Imran's prediction with Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze, I think it's only going to ever go one way. And that's going to be Tyler Breeze to win. He needs the win. Dolph Ziggler won't look bad losing to Tyler Breeze. It will be via shenanigans. I think that Summer Rae will interfere in some capacity. But ultimately, you'll see Tyler Breeze with his hand raised.
I'll go the same way. I can see that selfie stick playing a part of it as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Maybe a little bit of that lip gloss as well.
Tyler Breeze for me as well.
Tyler Breeze. We're both going for Tyler Breeze. Next, we'll go a little bit different. Let's go to the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team match.
So we are having one. Confirmed.
Yeah, but it's to be determined versus to be determined. So yeah. I thought what could be fun is if we predict who wins first. So I'm going to go for to be determined. Oh, sorry, it's you first. Sorry. Go ahead, Reza.
That's tough. I'll go with to be determined.
That sucker. I'm going to go for to be determined. Maybe it's probably best if we try and predict the superstars that are going to be in the Survivor Series match.
Yeah.
And I think to do this correctly, I think should we go 3, 4, 2? Every 2 superstars is worth half a point.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is it me?
So, let's go. Well, that doesn't work, does it? 2.5 points again. We'll go. Well, we should have really planned this. Every two superstars is 1 point.
Okay,
we'll go with that.
Fine.
Every 2 superstars. So, this is a big match.
Okay.
So, you got to go first with your first prediction.
I'm going to go with the New Day, so that's 3 right there.
I was going to go for New Day as well.
Okay. I can see King Barrett on the team.
King Barrett on the heel team. Okay, so we'll go through the heel team first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the final member will be Sheamus, I believe.
So this is exactly what no, that's not fair.
Okay.
I'll go with the New Day.
Okay.
Sheamus. Oh, no, in fact, no. Yeah, no, I will.
What was all that about?
No, I was going to say Sheamus might cash in, so he might not be on the show. But I guess putting him in this match is probably, better. Okay, Sheamus and King Barrett. Okay, so that's the heel team.
Yeah.
And on the face team...
the Usos, for sure.
Yeah, Usos, okay.
I'm
not confirming, but I have no idea. So I'm just saying yes.
The Usos is 2. I can see Ryback in this match.
Yeah, we're going to go for the same people. Can already tell.
And
last two, possibly not.
I don't know. I'd either go with the Lucha Dragons or the Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys have had their feud. Lucha Dragons are pretty much out of nowhere. It's not easy. I don't know who's left out of the card.
Nobody said it was easy.
I'm going to go with the Dudley Boys.
Go for the Dudley Boys, Reza?
Yeah.
What?
I don't think they'll be left out.
What made you go for them?
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like I should pick the Lucha Dragons.
Yeah, maybe you should pick the Lucha Dragons.
Well, that's fine.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Well, I'm going to go for... Get ready for this.
I'm ready.
Just make sure you're ready.
I'm strapped in and ready to hear your face predictions.
Are you sure?
100%.
Finn Balor.
Okay.
Adrian Neville.
Fantasyland. We're back.
Okay, no, we'll go back. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with the three that you first mentioned, so the Usos and Ryback.
Oh,
Then I'm gonna go for Adrian Neville.
yeah, that's an easy one I missed out.
And this is where it gets a little bit more difficult, but I still think it'll be another singles wrestler. Is this the time to promote someone to the main roster? Probably not. Is this the time to use someone terrible? Probably not. Cesaro.
Cesaro, he's not even on the card, is he? I completely forgot.
That's it.
Okay.
So I've gone for Usos, Ryback, Neville, and Cesaro versus The New Day, King Barrett, and Sheamus. And Rizzo has gone for King Barrett, Sheamus, The New Day versus the Usos.
Oh, I think we're losing our signal here. Let's just move on.
No,
very
Ryback
quickly.
And the Dudley Boys.
I can't hear you. Let's move on.
The Dudley Boys.
No, I can't. No, let's move on. What's the next match? What's the next match?
The next match is the hotly contested singles match for the number one contender spot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match later on, and we'll go with Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio first. I think it's my pick first.
Yes, it is. Well,
this could make Imran lose 2 points if I go for the wrong person now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play it safe and go with Roman Reigns. I think that's been the plan from the beginning. I think he's going to be the one that ultimately wins it all. And I think putting him in the main event of SummerSlam is probably the best idea. Roman Reigns.
SummerSlam, we just...
Yep. I think next year's SummerSlam, I think is the best idea, but that can only start from Survivor Series.
I'm going to agree and go with Roman Reigns.
Main event of SummerSlam?
Main event of SummerSlam.
Main event of SummerSlam. And the second tournament semi-final match for the vacant WWE World Heavyweight Championship number one contender match later on in the night, Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose. Ruzza, who do you go for?
This is so tricky. Both men can pull double duty.
Don't forget, we've got two champions in these matches as well. Del Rio's the US champion, and you've got Kevin Owens as the Intercontinental champion.
People want
neither championship on the line at the pay-per-view.
People want to see Ambrose and Reigns face off, but Reigns will get booed. Really tricky.
Maybe that's the way they want to go with Reigns.
Maybe.
Why am I helping you?
I don't know. I'm tempted to go Kevin Owens, but then it's just too obvious as a pay-per-view. I'm gonna go Dean Ambrose. I'm gonna keep it safe.
You could have been a trendsetter. You could have been a go-getter.
I'm gonna play safe.
Changed it all. I'm picking Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
I think that's the logical conclusion as well. Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose in the main event, and we'll get to that prediction in a moment because we still have Charlotte versus Paige.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, of course you can. No, in fact, no. Charlotte versus. Go ahead.
Personally, I would have rather seen something like a championship scramble in this situation.
What's a scramble? I mean, I know, but maybe some of our listeners don't know.
Where all superstars involved are in the ring. There's a time limit. No, they come out at a time limit.
Different times. Yep. Yeah, I knew that.
And there's a time limit. And there's a time limit, and whoever gets the pinfall is the current champion. But the time limit still goes, and new champions can be crowned until the clock hits zero.
Yep,
whoever got the last pinfall is the champion. I mean, because that way, for a few moments, you could have Cesaro as a champion, you could have Kevin Owens as a champion, but ultimately Reigns wins it in the last second.
But those championship wins don't actually matter, do they?
No, of course not. But then, when there's
it's not the hardcore title result.
Yeah, I mean, when there's 10 seconds left.
There's prestige to this championship.
Fair point. Let's move on.
Main event is set. Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. But first, Charlotte versus Paige after their fiery confrontation on Raw. They have a singles match for the WWE World Divas Championship. I'm almost as bad as Lillian. Championship! Charlotte versus Paige. Charlotte, your current champion. Paige, the challenger. Who do you go for, Reza? Because I'm going first. And I'm going to go for Paige as the winner and new Divas champion.
Really?
I can see it happening. I can really see it happening. I think Paige wins and she's a dominant heel. I think Charlotte chasing the championship is the best thing for her. And I think the only reason she won it was to drop it to Paige.
I'll take that. Paige to win.
Paige, you got him.
Thank you. Thank you for convincing me. Because if Imran loses the point, then I lose the point. It's fine by me.
This is all going to come down to the tag team match. Just remember that.
Yeah.
The 5-on-5, and I think we know who's going to win that. The Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family. So we've got Undertaker and Kane versus Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Now, we discussed this in length before, but Reza, please give me your prediction for this match.
I'm going with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman.
Okay.
To win, by the way.
Okay. For an extra point, then, who's going to get the pinfall?
Braun Strowman
On
Kane, but obviously he'll pass out.
Okay. Okay, so he defeats Kane.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Brothers of Destruction, just to be different.
Okay.
I'm going to go for the Undertaker and Kane to win, with the Undertaker defeating Braun Strowman. That's right.
Okay, that's interesting.
You heard me. And that brings us nicely to the main event match of the evening. For the vacant WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the challenger, Roman Reigns, versus the challenger, Dean Ambrose. 1-on-1. No time limit. Who walks away with the gold?
Who walks away with the gold?
And I think it's me first. I think it's, yeah. Are we?
Interesting question, though.
Roman Reigns wins and becomes your new WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
He becomes the championship.
He becomes the champion. It's been a long day. I was reading championship.
I'm going to agree with you.
He becomes the championship.
He becomes the championship.
It's like the end of Lucy. She becomes the USB. Spoiler.
But Roman Reigns does not leave with the championship.
What? Oh, it's a shame to say that you lost your head.
I think this is the night we get the cash in.
A careless man that'll wind up dead.
And the Authority has their champion.
You wear yourself like some kind of pride. Too many lies. Too many lies.
that just changed Irish right at the end.
Too many lies.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Sheamus to cash in. And he's the Authority's new champion for a while.
See, if that happens, I can see Dean Ambrose winning, because ultimately it doesn't matter.
Fair enough. But it goes down in the record books that Dean Ambrose is a one-time...
There you go, one-time champion before Roman Reigns. Who would have predicted that?
Yeah.
Still going to go Roman Reigns. I'm still going to go that he turns heel with Triple H, but ultimately he's your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and that is Survivor Series 2015. It
is interesting.
That was a good show.
Yeah, it was. Please, obviously, tune in next week. We're going to have, obviously, my tile's still going to be with me.
Is it a physical? Did you get one in the post? Did Imran send it to you?
I had it sitting over my shoulder. It's really bright, heavy, and gold.
Well, it'd be terrible if it was dull, light, and pink, wouldn't it? That's a Divas Championship.
Yeah.
Back on top of the world.
On that note, that's all we have time for today. We hope you enjoyed listening to our discussions, and if you did, please give us.
Oh, we can keep talking. So how about that Royal Rumble, hey? I know it's like 2 months away, but let's go for predictions. I'm going to go with Kane. He was dominant in 2001.
He was, yeah. But yeah, please give us a like, download, a play, recommendations to your friends that follow WWE. Thanks to Arif for joining me. As always, I've had a lot of fun. Any
Arif.
Final words of wisdom for our listeners?
The pay-per-view's on Sunday. Don't miss it unless you feel like watching it the day after. And if you do, please don't spoil it for me.
You know when you say that, people know you, they will spoil it.
Okay, please spoil it for me.
There we go. We'll be back next week with all the fallout from Survivor Series with another fun episode, and hopefully Imran will be back with us as well. So please tune in next Wednesday. Have a good rest of the week and enjoy Survivor Series.